All right, so they are all ironed, and the reason you have to iron well is that when, especially when you're doing patchwork like that, you don't want the piece to be like bumpy, you know, with a lot of waves and stuff. So you want it to make flat. And since pants are, you know, see how, because the shape of the leg, right, it has like this bump, so we have to remove this. And the only way we, or like work with it, the only way we can see it if it's pressed. Okay, so now I'm gonna start cutting. Let's start from this piece, and I'm just gonna do random for now. Remember how I have this, but like, you know, some I can use the ruler, some I can just cut randomly and see. I just need to make, I'm gonna like make pieces like different sizes, and then I can put it together. I'm not gonna cut very small pieces because then this will take too long, but you could if you want. It would be really nice to have like a small, you know, like a patchwork of like small pieces. See, like here, I'm not gonna use this part, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna use at all at any point. You know, it's just why I'm starting from here, because this is flat, like it's the most flat part of the pants. So I'm gonna just have, and then also because I have to start somewhere, right? So I'm starting here. And I'm doing like square angles like this. If you want to do curve, you know, if you know how to work with curves and all that, you can do as well. You know, just feel free to experiment. Right? So I'm gonna keep cutting. I'm not gonna cut all the legs because you know, I have to form the sizes of the pattern to work with them, right? To cut the pattern later. So I'm not gonna tear everything apart at once, but at least 2 or 3 legs I'm gonna make pieces and then add them together first. Okay, so look, this one for instance, right? That's a case of because it was the crotch, and see how this is never going to be flat. If I pull it here, it folds here. If I pull it here, it folds there, you know? So what I have to do is to find a straight line, right? So here's a straight line. I'm going to keep the seam here in this case. And then I want to do a straight line right here. Well, I guess I have to do like this. And then trace it here. And then from there, I kind of find a straight line right here, look. And that is, if you want to work with straight lines, you could do curve too. And then you have to make, you know, in this case, let's say I want to keep it curvy, right? I would cut here, have this curve open here, and then cut another one to fill that gap there and make like a round shape. All right. Another straight line right here. I might do a round shape, but just like a couple, just to make, to show something, but not that's like I'm trying to work with curves because it's hard. It just takes longer, you know, but I can show you how I do. And I left the double seam here. I'm just gonna trim it. Let's see how I can incorporate that to my fabric. And that I will keep going. Just like that, cutting straight lines and then saving the small pieces. Look, so from one leg I got 4 big pieces, and then I have those little ones. Those little ones, I definitely want to save it because I'm going to do something with them. All right, and that's it. Just keep cutting and making pieces. Cut at least like 3. All right, so I'm going to cut this one, and then we'll keep going. All right, so I have lots of pieces now. Look, those are random pieces. That's how I started. If you want to cut all the, you know, you can make templates and cut like the same sizes. I like to do like that because I like the randomness of it all, okay? But you can do your way. It's pretty much an improv quilt that we're doing, okay? So I cut it. One thing I would say, don't cut all the legs yet. Just cut 2 to 3 legs, and then we're going to start sewing them together. And from there, at least that's how I do. I get started, and then from there, from the first view of the patchwork, I decide where to go forward, or how to move forward. Okay, like what's the next step? So I want to put them together. I'm just gonna get this piece, and then, and look, I like this piece because it's like worn in. Whoever wore these jeans wore a lot. And then I'll go and add, with another piece here, and then I can get something like this. And I did cut 3 legs. I should have cut in the other jeans, but just to have like different washes and shades and all that. And just build something like this. Look, right? And I'll sew it together, and then I have some sort of start. Okay. Yeah, so actually I ended up cutting the another leg because the shade of the jeans is different, so I'd rather have more variation of colors, right? And I'm just gonna start sewing them randomly, kind of like paying attention to the colors, but not worrying too much, Like this goes here, and then I'll find another piece for here. And whatever I don't have, I cut it. So look, I can join these 2 together. Right? And then I can join this here. And I leave the seams open. I'll show you. Look, as I'm sewing, I'm leaving, I'll try to do this as much as possible so then I can press, right? Because I want to have this really like well pressed and all. But look, so now I already have a start, right? So I'm just gonna keep adding. Maybe this one can go here. And then see how like there's a piece missing here, but then there's an extra there, so I can cut this one. And you can use a ruler, but I'll just do like that without it because I like it. Right, so then this here, I can do this here. It's not as large, but, and look, it wasn't straight because I didn't use a ruler, so I recommend you to use a ruler. Right, now I have this part, and I can join here, and something will be, so I keep like cutting and sewing and cutting and sewing until I have a considerable size. We're really like putting a piece of fabric together, right? And just have fun with it, it doesn't need to be perfect. Remember, like, you can always cut and sew again if you don't think the combination of colors is good and all. It's very free and it's very fun. I like doing this. Voila. So now I can trim here. So I'm gonna start pressing, really, right? So I'll grab my pad and keep pressing, and then keep adding pieces and building my fabric. So far, that's what I've done. Look, I'm excited, isn't it cool? So I want to say a couple things before we keep going. So the finishing, I just want to say, how the finishing that you choose is up to you. Like, look at the inside. I know some people I'm not crazy about this aesthetic, but some people like this way to be the right side, You could leave the raw edges on the outside, and then when you wash it, it like frays and it has the, like a bunch of fringe and stuff. I rather keep it simple, and then I'm just gonna have the lining, right? I'm gonna line the coat. That's my plan. But if you wanna have this exposed, that's up to you, okay? It could be cool as well. Now, the question is how much more you have to add to this panel, right? You can make like a big panel, or the way I like to do it's easier, because then I don't work extra, right? I like to do by piece of the pattern, and that when I should talk about the pattern. So you can download the pattern down here, and then you print it, and it's easy. Just make sure when you print it, it's 100%. Your scale at your printer is 100%, because it has to be correct. You know, if it's not 100%, the scale is wrong and the size of the pattern will be wrong. Also, and then how you find that out is you just print the second page, and the second page has the test square, which is this one, right? And then you can measure it and make sure the test square is 2 inches by 2 inches, and that means you printed your pattern correctly, okay? Then you put the pattern together and you have it, and it's easy. Look, we have the pattern. And then when you start building your fabric, right? Your denim fabric, you just go by the size. Look, I'm almost done with one side of my, pretty much we're gonna need like 4 times this amount, because it's 2 fronts, right? 2 sides of the front, and double this for the back, because the center will be on fold here. So you need about 4 times this amount of fabric. And so I'm gonna just keep building a little bit more here, and probably I could even like trim this part here and edge down here, and then I already have one side, and then I put on the side and make another one, and then keep going until I have 4 of them. And then I need some extra for the pocket and the sleeve, okay? And then you have to choose if you want to do a patch pocket or an inseam pocket. I'm going to do patch pocket, but if you want to do inseam, it's easy. You just put it on the inside. In the Sew and Essential Wardrobe, there is a tutorial how to do the inseam pocket, because this one I'm just going to do the patch pocket, because I want to play with the quilting look and all, okay? So for now, I'm just gonna keep going, building, and until I have 4 times of this and an extra for my sleeve and pocket. And then for the lining or facing or whatever else, it can be another fabric, right? It could be like a shirt that you took apart, or just a piece of cotton fabric or a flannel, and you just make sure this fabric that you're going to use as lining is not too thick, not too heavy, because you don't want to have a weight. You know, we're already working with jeans that is very heavy for the machine to handle, and if you add another heavy layer, like thick layer, it will be even harder, okay? So keep it easy for the machine. All right, so I'll just keep adding pieces until I have it.